YouTube. This is Tony Harvin. Welcome to my secondary YouTube channel, Tony Harvin Network. I greet everybody upon this morning. You know what I mean? We're here to have a conversation, general, in reference to church service. I asked the question to the public, how was service, or, how's everybody doing for the most part, in general. You know what I mean? Y'all know my disclaimer. I'm not a pastor, preacher. I don't hold any type of office in the church. So please do not lay claims of those titles on me. We're not here to violate any type of community guidelines, any type of copyright infringement, or any type of privacy guidelines at all. Shout out to everybody who's going to join us live now, in the middle, and those who want to check it out when it uploads to YouTube. Hope everybody's having a wonderful morning. In general, hope everybody had a great sleep. And whatnot. You know what I mean? What's up to Georgina Flemings? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. You understand? Roxanne, shout out to you. Hope all is well. Willie Timpson, shout out to you. Hope all is well at Willie Timpson. Tanya Bond, shout out to you. Hope all is well. Appreciate that. I know some people got service in the morning. Some people already had service early morning. Some people probably got service in the evening, and whatnot. We're not specifying, a certain church, but just in general, for those out there. What's up to Jen Juice? Shout out to you. Exclusive Gaming. You said you started early. Well, I was going to start early, probably like 7 a.m. with a workout, but I didn't feel like getting up at 6 in the morning. So, we starting early. Sometimes we come on at this time just to see how the people doing, how was service yesterday and whatnot. And we'll do our recap maybe today or tomorrow. That's how we do. We do the recaps today or tomorrow and whatnot. Especially if it's like 2 messages that I have to listen to and, timestamp and breakdown and stuff like that. It could take a day or 2 and whatnot. But we definitely have our recaps, talking about the message, giving our feedback, respectful conversations. What's up to Devon? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. What's up to Sandra Brown? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. What's up to Geraldine Parker? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. So as we know, last night, TOG came on for the most part. Great foundation. He was talking about like AI and forgery for the most part. I'm glad he brought up AI. I can't stand AI. There's something about AI I cannot stand. That them people be using for sure. What's up to B Holy? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. Absolutely at B Holy. What's up to Ricardo? He says good morning. The service was great. He said last night, PJ, praise your recap. That's cool. That's what's up, man. You know what I mean? And the idea came to my mind. I get a lot of creative ideas that just come to mind to do, and one of those was, a reaction. Basically, that's like a reaction, but I call it a recap. Folks been doing it on social media with their reaction videos and stuff like that. So I thought we'd do one on, the services and whatnot, to talk about it, in a respectful manner, whether some of us disagree with certain things or not. Yeah, maybe just basically having a conversation about the message and whatnot. Sandra Brown said, did you get a chance to check out Philip Anthony Mitchell for yourself? Well, he looks familiar. Like I said yesterday on the other YouTube channel, somebody sent me him before. I didn't check him out thoroughly, but he looked familiar. You understand? And whatnot. So I really don't want to go to it now. I want to see what he believes. Let me see his name again. Philip Anthony Michael. All right. So he's a part of the 2819 church. 2819 church. Let me see. With that, I'm just guessing, he's a Trinitarian. That's my guess. So I'm clicking on when he says, yeah, as I was right. I was right. He's on a website, 2819 Church, under our beliefs. They wrote, there is one God who eternally exists in three persons, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And they put also the doctrine of God's triune nature is called the Trinity. So he believes in the Trinity, sort of like how Smith does, and whatnot, and a lot of people do. You understand? They're classified as Trinitarians, and whatnot. It's a great conversation. I wouldn't classify God, as being a person. I wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? I definitely wouldn't do that at all. I don't know why people do that. I don't know why they break down God as being a person, and whatnot. But that's neither here nor there. That's not for me. That's for the preachers out there. I'm just a YouTuber, just giving my commentary and content. That's it. All right, let's get to some more of these comments. Let me see. And I'm looking at more of his beliefs. I'm looking at more at Sandra Brown. So what he's saying is, he said that Jesus Christ is God the Son, the second person of the Trinity. That's what their church website says. And he said the Holy Spirit is the third person. That's funny. I find that really, really funny. So I'm looking at the water baptism belief. They believe in baptizing in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. That's what they believe. The Lord's Supper, he says, is a unique time of communion in the presence of God when the elements of bread and grape juice, they use grape juice. All right? Let me see what else they believe. It said 2819 is a champion for grace and truth while maintaining a conservative theological position. Theological. The pastor you brought up at Sandra Brown. You know what I mean? All right. What's up to Tiffany Neely, German, Khadijah Reeves. Appreciate that at German. Sandra Brown says he's trying to save souls from hell like Gino. Well, here's the deal. Now, some people may be sincere about, the souls of people, as far as wanting to help them to strive for the Lord. It could be true. Could be. You understand? But it's doctrine. It's doctrine that will cause friction, or whatever the case may be. Some people can have a reasonable conversation on why they believe this and why they believe that. It's nothing personal. You understand? So he may be sincere about that at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But some could be off with how they interpret the Bible, and whatnot. Could be that way. All right. B. Holy says he's not a real God, sent man of God, he wrote. What's up to Jermaine Crowder? Shelley House. B. Holy says the Hebrew Israelites went to his church also with their army of men. I think I kind of seen that video thumbnail on YouTube yesterday, and whatnot. Was that the IUIC, Hebrew Israelites, and they quote unquote think they're doing something when they try to show up to somebody's church. They call it blitz. Like, what is that doing? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's just stupid and foolish for them fellas. Anita says, good morning, greetings to all. He says, service was wonderful both nights. You're learning so much truth. And you mentioned it about the recaps that you mentioned. Appreciate that. At Anita Jackson. Exclusive Gaming says, I just don't know how to reply to you here on live just like you did reply to me. Well, I mean, just messaging, in the chat room and whatnot. I don't know if you're talking about like in a video format, but I could see the chat room, whether it's on the mobile phone straight to me or my computer to the right of me, in front of me. Y'all can't see it, but so when I'm looking over, I'm looking at my computer on the chat room also, right? Gino P says 2819. What they is Crips? We call them Crips. GS9. Oh man, neighborhood. Somebody mentioned yesterday Matthew 28:19 when I made a little joke about that, and by that term, I kind of knew that they was Trinitarians for the most part. Kind of already knew, I don't know what part of our organization he's from. It doesn't really say like the Kojic or anything like that, but I'm probably guessing he's Kojic at Sandra Brown. Clayton said, did you first start reading the Bible in prison? What I look like? Possibly you? You idiot. Let me go to your YouTube channel, man. Let me see what you got going on. He said in prison. What I look like? Clayton, let's see what your YouTube channel is about. Man, you got Donald Trump on here, man. Get out of here. You got Donald Trump. Clayton Bigsby. Matter of fact, let's Google your name. Let's see what pops up. Clayton Bigsby, it says the world's only black white supremacist. You probably got a made up YouTube channel using that person's name. You know what I mean? Has something to do with the Chappelle Show. I don't know nothing about that. I don't watch that type of stuff. Who's Clayton Bigsby? Who's that? I don't know what that is. It says a journalist profiles Clayton Bigsby, a predominant white supremacist who doesn't know that he himself is black. Wow. That sounds like comedy right there, honestly. What is that? Because I don't know. You know? All right? Shannon says, greetings, shout out to you, hope all is well. At Shannon, Sandra Williams. All right. Beholder says, can't save souls with wrong doctrine. That's true. And some don't know. You know what I mean? Given the benefit of the doubt. Some don't know, some do know. You know what I mean? Some churches come to the truth, right? Because they hear it, they hear the truth, like, you know what? Let's go to the truth right now. This is what we're gonna follow now. You know what I mean? When they come upon hearing the message at the end of the day. You know? So, but some are hard-headed. You know what I mean? For the most part, some are stuck in their ways, and they know it's the truth, but they want to stand by with what they believe in. You know what I mean? So I definitely agree with that one. At B Holy, what's up to David B? He said these trolls are clowns. What's up to number 33? Fleming says, he says, were you able to attend church virtually last night? And if so, what was your takeaways? Hope you all slept well. Well, I fell asleep, honestly. Honestly, I was sleeping. You know what I mean? But I got a chance to watch a little bit of it today, take some notes and whatnot. And, you know, possibly, you know, put out a reaction video on the other channel in a video format. And I want to do the recap on yesterday's and today's. You know, of course, maybe I'll do the recap in all tomorrow. for the most part, because I like to take my notes and I like to take my time as far as like with the topics and the timestamps. So we might do the recap tomorrow. I'm not sure and whatnot. But I do like when he talked about AIs. You know what I mean? And I do know that that website or that Facebook profile where he mentioned that somebody made the AI of, you know, his wife yelling at him um, and whatnot. You understand that? AI is something else. You know what I mean? People could make you do whatever they want with AI. You understand that? You could be married. You could be married and whatnot. You know what I mean? And their twisted, wicked fantasies, right, is to have them and you making out. You understand that? And they'll share it. Just like they shared that picture of, you know, when they made up of PJ, his wife yelling at him. You got people in the comment section. And I'm going to show that when I do the reaction video on the other channel. That people in the comment section was believing that. Stupid people, man. Stupid. You know, so they be making an AI of almost everything. Everything. When Terrence Crawford won, when he beat Canelo, right? And Angel Reese came in the locker room to, you know, show support. He gave her a little respectful half hug or something like that. Respectful. She had a nice little, you know, seductive clothing on. You understand? I'm going to be real. She's got a nice little body, or whatever the case may be. And somebody made an AI of them making out. Sick people, man. He's a married man. You know, sick people. There's some sick people. Sick. Sick, man. And they be making all this crazy stuff. And people actually believe those AI videos. Or pictures or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? I'm staying far away from AIs. Far away. It got so bad that people was using AI pictures. You know, they, I don't know, add some type of filters to their face. And they put it up as their default. Like it's really them. Or put their head on a body that's not theirs. And make it seem like it's theirs on Facebook and Instagram. That's not you. You understand? That's not you. That was you 300 pounds ago. You understand? If you want to get like that, work for it. I can't stand AIs. I really can't. You know, I don't like AIs. I don't like it. You know, he also mentioned that there might be somebody out there that make him having smoking weed or something like that. You wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. You know? Some people got sick minds out here. Sick. I want to know how it looked of Tony Harvin doing this. And they would make it too. With my voice. It's crazy, man. They'll use your face, your whole body, and your voice. And the way you move and everything. Technology, I tell you. Way how you say things, move. They'll do it. I don't know how that stuff is done. I don't want to learn it. You understand? Because I don't like AI. But people do it. People do it. B. Otis says, Clayton, he says, did you pray this morning, thanking God for life? If not, have at it, you wrote. All right, what's up to Christopher Span? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. Where we at? Exalted Born. Okay, what up? What's up to Marcia? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. What's up to Lot? Shout out to you. David B said the trolls are coming in hot. Let them come. What up to Sion? Wow, on a Sunday. I think service starting to what? Maybe an hour or something like that. Wow. This is the type of stuff that folks, that they got that type of stuff on their mind early this morning. I'm just here having a conversation about how was service. I'm just asking, what's up with the people on YouTube? How you doing? It's crazy, man. What's up to Timothy Hill? What's up to Levy? Shout out to you. He says, can't argue scripture. That's true. That's true. But folks, the way they interpret the things and the way they try to break it down, that fella, who gave me that? Sandra Brown. He believes in the Trinity. So what do you think about that at Sandra Brown? All right. Shanice says you should, I guess you meant I should do a live recap of my study. What do you mean by that? Of my study? I don't get it. So you mean if I read the Bible, if I go to Matthew chapter 6 and stuff like that, and they got the prayer in there, Our Father which art in heaven, right? From verses 9 to 13, then underneath that, the next two verses about forgiveness. You want me to come on here and talk about something like that? You want me to really come on here? Let me do a recap on Matthew chapter 6, where it talk about the prayer. Now, the Lord says, Our Father which art in heaven. Now, that means that, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us for our trespasses, as we forgive those. And lead us not into temptation. You want me to come on here and talk about that? Huh? Let me know. No, because that makes it seem like I'm on here preaching and teaching. I don't do that. No way. I will not do that. I don't want to come off as no preacher. I don't want to come on here as no teacher. Nothing like that. I just want to be a YouTuber. As far as like creating content. That's it. You understand? That's just me. That's all I want to do is create content. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a preacher. I'm not no teacher. Listen, I'm just a content creator. Although people do come on here, they have little things about studying and stuff like that, but I don't want to come off like that. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to be looked at as no preacher or teacher at all. All right, so that's why I leave that up to the pastors out there, to the preachers out there and stuff like that. I don't want to do that. All right. Jinju says AI is demonic to me. Oh yeah. What's up to her wise? Shout out to you. Beholder says, thank God for what you do, helping get the truth out. Appreciate you, brother. Real talk. Appreciate that at Be Holy. Thank you for the encouragement. All right. Levy says, I've always said as a kid, some of the most sick-minded people are in high places. Not that right. Marcia says, this is another reason I appreciate you, because you do help expose the people who are telling lies and robbing people of their money. It's a blessing to know the truth. You said God bless. You said God bless you. Appreciate that. What's up to Jamil Jackson? Timothy Hill said, what's crazy about AI is church folks believe that mess. Yep, they sure do. Well, a lot of people are not, computer savvy. So I gotta, let them breathe a little bit, because they don't really understand how technology works, especially those who are like 60, 70, 80 years old, and they see that type of stuff. They don't know better. But for those who do know better, or should know better, come on now. It's easy to like point out that this is AI. You know what I mean? But somebody who's 60 years old, 70, 80 or 90, whatever the case may be, they're not really savvy to what's going on on social media or the internet in general. A lot of them are not. All right. What's up to Chad? Just Chad. Levy says I was having a conversation with this woman. My aunt knew, and she said she made an AI profile pic so people from her job won't be checking for her on social media. That's funny. Now, something like that, hey, could AI be used for something positive? Rarely. Something like that? I mean, some people, hey, they use that. Or they just put a blank picture or a nickname because they don't want nobody to search them on social media. I get it. Especially if you're working in an office or whatever the case may be, you're a teacher. You don't want people to search for you. Some people have their badges, turned around because they don't want people to see their name. Why? Because people are sick to search your name. You understand? They sick. Now, it's nothing I can do. Nothing I can do. You know what I mean? My stuff is like public. I just made certain things private and whatnot, make some adjustments. I want to do that and possibly make it back public. But a lot of people, they turn their badges around because they know folks will search them over the internet, folks at your job, especially women out there. You got perverts at your job, perverts trying to make passes at you, perverts. You know what I mean? You come to work, you're always trying to laugh in your face and come in your face, and you're married, or you ain't interested in them, and they keep trying. Perverts. Perverts on the job, or people who got work husbands and work wives, and you got a spouse at home. Is that you? Is that you? You got a work spouse? Or you letting another man rub up on you? And you got a husband at home? At work? That's crazy, man. A work husband and a work wife. I ain't find out about that type of stuff. I think it was this year. Somebody put a picture up or something on Facebook. I said, work husband and work wife. I didn't know they do that. Because I drive trucks, so I ain't in the office or nothing like that. So I'm out chilling, whatever. I ain't know folks do that. You know what I mean? Work husband and work wife. Wow. Especially folks in the office, working in the office and stuff like that, man. That's crazy. I can't do that. What's up to Lorenzo? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. What's up to Sion? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. Span says, I said this before. I don't give out hugs. I'm not close when I speak to people. And when someone sends me a dirty message, I screenshot it with the screen time and screenshot the location of the message. I mean, you gotta have that proof. Absolutely. What's up to Mitchell? You said Travis Hunter of the Jaguars, number 12. Some people call him Donatello. I mean, hey, he says was baptized, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Live on TV, look it up. Yeah, I've seen, little stuff about him getting baptized and whatnot and things like that. Like I said, some people don't know better for the most part, Travis Hunter, talented football player, very talented and whatnot. All right. Span says, man, Apostle talked about Jezebel, one of my favorite topics. Wonderful. Anita says, truth will always be truth, and a lie will always be a lie. Got that right. What's up to Bonnie? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. Nathaniel, listen, I don't know. I'm not caught up in football fantasy. I don't know nothing about that. I don't do football fantasy. I barely watch it now. know a little bit about football. You're talking about football fantasy. What is that? What is football fantasy? I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? That sounds kind of, I don't know, suspect. Fantasy. Football fantasy. What is that? What is it? What is a football fantasy? Somebody tell me. I don't know what that is. You know? Let me scroll it down in the comment section. You said a fantasy. You know? Span says, have you experienced forgery as a brother or a YouTuber? Has anyone forged their identity or tried to use your name as a way of sabotage your channel? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It happens often. You know, folks make up a YouTube channel or Facebook or whatever the case may be and try to sabotage. I think they did that to Jude and Perdido also. They did that to C-Rock. They did that to PJ. They did that to a couple of YouTubers. You know, and they go into people's YouTube channels and comment and leave a long paragraph and things like that. And folks asking me, is that you? What? What do I look like? I forgot. It was somebody going around asking for money and stuff like that, leaving a long paragraph. They used my picture and my name. This channel and the other channel. Now, mind you, it's clear you can see the numbers on people's YouTube channel. You can go to a person's profile. I call it their front page. You know what I mean? I have an introduction video on mine. You know what I mean? Some people just don't use common sense. Listen, click on the name and you can view what they have on their channel. The person had 1 subscriber and I don't know, they had just made that account not too long ago. So you could see the date when they made it. And people was asking me, is that you? What I look like coming on social media and asking for money in that manner? I'm talking about in that manner. Going to people's videos, leaving a long paragraph. Some people made a fake Facebook of me. It happens. It happens. Somebody put me in a dating site one time. They put me in a dating site. It was called Tagged or something like that. Tagged. This is a long time ago. I think this was like, well, was it before YouTube? Might have been after. I'm not too sure. Put me in a dating site. Fella was using my pictures and whatnot. Trying to get women. For what? I don't know. You need my picture for it. Use your own. You know what I mean? Use your own. And some people are sick. I wouldn't be surprised if they're using the pictures now in some type of dating site and stuff like that. That ain't me. You know? And listen, false prophets would believe it. Just like Instagram. I don't like Instagram. You know? What happened? So with Instagram, I don't be on there that much. Right? So I kept my followers at 99 on purpose. You understand? The people I decide to follow. Kept it at 99. I come back months later, it's up to about 130. How did this happen? I didn't know Instagram add people. And a false prophet went to my Instagram, looked at the followers, and there was a transformer in there. See that? You see that? False prophets thought they had something. One transformer. Right? Even then, hey, check out the encouragement that I put up. That's fine. You know what I mean? But when Instagram add people to your account, I didn't know that until I figured it out. How these people keep coming on my Instagram and making it seem like I'm following them. but I'm keeping my stuff at 99 before. Now I upped it a little bit. I did that myself. You know, people at the church, people from my area, whatever the case may be. So I'm going to keep it around, I don't know, maybe 2 something for now. But before it was 99. And I used to always come back months later. It's up. How? I don't know. I don't request nobody. You know, at that time. All right? What's up to TNT? Shout out to you. So yeah, you're going to have people try to sabotage you, try to use your identity and stuff like that. They're going to try to do it. You know, do it bother me? No. You understand that? Even people on here, I think Rebel Eric, fellow who come on here when we was shooting a live. Some people probably remember. I think it was about 2 years ago. We were shooting a live, and we had we sent out the link for the fellas to come on. Somebody used his name. I didn't know at the time because I'm on a live. You know what I mean? I'm ripping and running on his live, making sure everything is cool. They used his picture and whatnot. Gave him the link. He came on here, used his name. I'm thinking that's Rebel Eric. Once we let him on, they was playing porn. They did that on the Truth of God Zoom one time. I think somebody was talking about it. These folks come on a Zoom when the message is being played and you play porn or you hack into the system and play porn. Some people are sick, man. They sick. You know what I mean? Span says Saturday services was wonderful. So many young people came in, shook the hand of a young man who, what is that? Let me tell here the message. You says a young man got baptized. Wonderful. That's what's up. Lady Toya, you says I was watching and observing the people don't follow in the scriptures. They just watch the pastor. All right? You says it simply shows people don't read the Bible and know stuff for themselves. I agree with you on that one. I agree. What's up to TNT? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. Where we at? Let me go to this one right here. Yard broadcast. Oh man. What's up to Lucy? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. Appreciate you for coming on here. You know, as we have this conversation, and whatnot. Let me scroll down. What up to Gino P? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. At Gino P. Oh man, what's going on? Man, oh man. You got to excuse me, man. This computer is acting slow. What's up to Shelly House? What up to Shelly House? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. The pastor told people about your channel because you keep it real. He said, definitely appreciate that for sure. You know what I mean? It's good. It's good to have good, respectful conversation and things like that. You know, it shows if you have recap and you feel a way about what was preached or whatever the case may be. It doesn't hurt to have conversation about it. It's just that some people don't know how to have a conversation. They just want to come into and have like arguments and debates and whatnot. So it's greatly appreciated for sure. All right, what's going on with this? Trying to see something right now. I know I saw a message that got removed. I think I read that one. Read that. What's up to Eddie Johnson? Shout out to you. Hope all is well at Eddie Johnson. What's up to Prodigal Son? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. Appreciate that. All right. What's up to William 91? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. Shanice says, I'm talking about your previous statement on you claiming you study TLG broadcasting. Understand now you are a YouTube. I understand. Oh, okay. I got you, Shanice. Oh, I think I did before. I think I did at one time when I was trying to. Did I? Maybe I do that. That's a good one. Now that you say it in that way at Shanice, now I understand. I thought you were talking about me coming on here, talking about studying the Bible. You know what I mean? But as far as like the videos and stuff like that, with the timestamps, I think I may have done that before. I'm not too sure. I would have to go back and look, but I wouldn't mind doing it again. Appreciate that refresher, that idea. At Shanice. All right. What's up to DJ Grant? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. Williams 91. Hope all is well. Appreciate that. What's up to Ernest Beard? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. What kind of dumb comment was that? Charlie Flyer. What kind of dumb comment was that, huh? Man, some sick people in this world. Charlie Flyer.
What a fool. Amen.
Some people out here, man, just crazy. Crazy.
You nasty thing.
Wow.
That's right.
Let's get to some more of these comments. That's for you, Mr. Flyer. That's for you, right? If I really want to go further, huh? You understand? Shoot that comment to pieces. Mr. Flyer, you there? Oh man, please don't get me started. Don't get me started, man. I'm just trying to have a peaceful day and whatnot as we continue on with some more of these comments. It's 12:05 p.m. and trying to see what time it is in Montego Bay. Got to see the time on. Oh, it's 11:06 a.m. in Montego Bay and whatnot. That's one wife you can divorce. He talking about the work wife. Funny. Right, David B, what up? Shout out to you, Roger Davis. David B says fantasy football is a thing. Oh, all right. Alina Russell, what's up? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. B Ho says people create their teams and gambles based on how the players played that week or games. Oh, okay. All right. Fantasy football. Okay. G-Money says, what up? He says, fantasy football is you pick your ideal teams to win games, including picking your own players. And most people play for a bank of money as they play in the pool. All right? All right, what's up to William? Shout out to you. You said you got AIDS. Well, hey, you need to go do something about that. Don't come on here talking about you got AIDS. You know what I mean? Go do something about it. Go pray. Get yourself right if you haven't already gotten. What that's going to do? What is that going to do? You coming on a social media video and say you got AIDS. Now, if you playing around, you better be careful with that type of stuff. You understand? I don't listen. I'll be careful joking around about things like that. I'll be very, very careful. You know? Very careful about making jokes about something like that. Because that's a lot of times, you know, folks do. They come on here, they scroll through like different lives on a mobile, and they say crazy stuff like that person. You know, as we continue on. Fleming says, anyone who works from home by themselves wouldn't be familiar with that term, but yeah, they say women, men at work have a close opposite sex that is considered work spouse. Thanks God I work at home. Well, if and when I get married, or whatever the case may be, it won't be none of that. You understand? It won't. Listen, not that it won't be none of that. It bet not be none of that. You hear me? You understand? It bet not be none of that. You know? I may do a pop-up. Not on a crazy tip, but with some flowers. You understand? I may do a flower pop-up. If I see something. If I see something. Ain't none of that. You know, don't listen, no need to hover over my woman. No need to keep coming to her office desk, asking her questions. Trying to start up a conversation, fella. You understand? That's me. You know? No need for none of that. You know? Right? Even at some churches. You know, your wife is on auxiliary and stuff like that, around other men possibly, depending on the auxiliary. Don't get too close to her. You know what I mean? Quick with the church hugs, and there won't be no holy kisses on my wife neither. If and when I get married. You know? No holy kisses. You understand? Holy handshakes, hon. That's it. Just holy handshakes. If that, or holy dap. Honey, holy dapple. That's it. You know what I mean? All right? What's up to Chad? Shout out to you. Prodigal son. They talking about bad breath. What's going on in here? All right, not a problem, Fleming. Appreciate that. They talking about bad breath in here. What's going on? All right, DJ Grant says, there have been times I hear something preached and I don't understand. So I scratch my head and think for a while, and sometimes I don't like what is preached because it hurts, but it's Bible. And I have to take what's in the Bible. That's understandable. See, we could have that conversation. There's some people that don't know how to have that conversation. You can say, listen, I heard the message. It hurt. I scratched my head on it. I don't know about it. But it's conversation. It's a respectful conversation. You know what I mean? People like you and I are willing to sit back and hear the message maybe more than one time. Maybe it takes years to understand something. But some people out there, they fight it. Just listen to it. If you disagree with it, hey, you never know. You might come into an understanding later on down the line. You know? All right? Span says, if you was a woman, you're speaking in general, in the late 90s, you says, you talking about black and mild. Where is this coming from? Where that conversation coming from? Black and mild. You said sucking on a black and mild, and it wasn't regulated. I don't know what that is, regulated. A regulated black and mild. What is that? Now, I heard black and mild and stuff like that. But you went into the deeper depthness of that. What's up to Henry Ross? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. All right. Excuse me. Anita Jackson says, don't this person know the power is in your own tongue? What is wrong with some of us just calling things on ourselves? He says, I agree with you. This person needs to go and pray and seek care. Absolutely. Bonnie says, boundaries should be respected. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And Bonnie, for sure. Henry Ross says, why is she working, period? Because the late, he says the late Charlie Kirk says women only allowed to have a degree and Mrs., whatever that means. Well, I don't know nothing about that too much, about Charlie Kirk stating that women only, he said Charlie Kirk says women only allowed to have a degree. Where you get that from? And what video is that? What's up to Sin Stew? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. At Sin Stew. We got about 8 minutes left before we knock off, before we hit that hour mark, and whatnot. You know, pretty sure a lot of us is getting ready for the message. You're heading to church. G Money says, I agree with you on the church hugs. I feel sorry for some of our sisters who are not married. Some have tried to hug me inappropriately and get lipstick on my suit. They know I'm in a relationship. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. I still remember the time I hugged a mother. I'm not gonna say when. It could have been 20 years ago. A mother of a church. I guess she called herself giving me a holy kiss. Wow. That's all I'm gonna say. Wow. Some people are perverted, whether it's women or men. I don't give men hugs. You get a half elbow hug. That forearm will hit your chest. Simple. Or you get a mid-range hug, handshake. Sit. Listen, I'm not bumping pelvises with another man. I don't do that. I ain't doing that. No way. That's not happening. Now, granted that some people are cool, they best friends and stuff like that, or it's your son, or whatever. Okay, to a certain extent. But if it just, random and stuff like that, it's a no-go. Because some people are happy to give those type of hugs. Not that they are sincere about it, but they just have a perverted mind. There's a lot of perverts out here. I don't care what church you go to. There's perverts. There's perverts out here. Well, there's a man looking to holy kiss every sister. Looking to hug every sister. You understand? Especially if the sister's attractive. There's a lot of attractive sisters in the churches. And sometimes you can see some things that you be like, ooh, wow. Oh my, good grief. You know, women too. Y'all looking at some brothers. Well, look at his shoulders. I ain't gonna go into too much depth about another man's looks because I don't do that. I'm just gonna say shoulders. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. Your shoulders. You know? Span said not the medical term. You know? Bonnie says, in today's age, people are so weird instead of staying grounded in the word. They are. You know, some people come to church just to have a perverted mind. Span says, something wrong with people letting a skittle hug you to hand it close range. Pants, touching pants is nasty work. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sideways. Sideways. Handshake sideways. It was a time you probably can do that. It was a time. Now in these days it's totally different. Totally different. Back then you could give holy kisses and it's nothing. There's no evil intent or anything like that. You could give a brother, a hug. Now in these days, you gotta be careful now. You gotta be careful. You know what I mean? Even if you play sports, football, you know, it's showers. Back in the day, it's nothing. And these days, yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Now you gotta make separations of showers in these days now. Because people got sick minds. You know what I mean? Sick. You know? All right. Henry Ross says, Charlie didn't believe in women going to college, but just to be a housewife in waiting. Oh, wow. I mean, I guess, would you say, was that his preference? Was that his preference? You know, was that something, would you classify if a man believed something like that? Would you put that on a biblical standpoint? You know, because I think, well, Gino didn't say that, but he mentioned that he wanted his wife to stay home to watch the kids and what have you. And that's a good idea. That was a good idea because I wouldn't want people, you know, although some people don't have that privilege or whatever the case may be, or you could work towards it, to have these strangers out here watching our kids. What's up, the Cali boy? Shout out to you. Bonnie says, in today's age, people are so weird instead of, I think I read that one, my fault. Fleming says, church is a hospital and many don't understand that. It's a place to be delivered from all kinds of sickness, even sickness in mind. Anita Jackson says, each time I listen to the message, there's something I have missed. It's always good to recap. Thank you for all you do. God bless you and your family. Appreciate that. All right, what up to Cali boys? Shout out to you. G Money says, I will give anyone a hug who are in need of one in a brotherly love way, but I am very careful on how I embrace anyone. Use discernment. People are hurting today and are, I guess you mean, are in need of affections at times. Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true, but I mean, hey, if a brother is in need of affection, I got nothing to do with that fella. He gonna have to deal with that on his own, or if he's married, listen, go to your wife. Simple. Go to her. You know what I mean? Go to her. If a brother is in need for affection, and whatnot, you know, go to that one. You know what I mean? No brother better not come up to me and say, listen, man, I need some affection. I need some holy affection. You might get a holy KO. You come up to me like, imagine that. Brother come up to you, fella. Listen, brother, I need some holy affection. That's crazy. Let me see where we at. Be holy says, he said holy hands. All right, Henry Ross says, Charlie speaks on like it was Bible, it was the why he was stating, but little than he know his wife was awarded CEO of Turning Point after his unaliving. Wow. Span says, I remember those days when you go to gym class, hit the showers, and no one was looking at each other. It was normal. It says you be, drying off out on your deodorant, lotion, and clothes, then you would. Yeah, those days and these days, man. You said verse with the homies about girls. Oh yeah, Bonnie says sound-minded people should know who should get hugs and kisses. Not that right. G Money says get your mind out of the alley. Fleming says I was watching crime stories and a wife found her husband sexually abusing their son. He unalived her when she threatened to leave. Be careful who you marry or leave your child with. Wow. That's crazy. Linda, what up? He says, once I offered our pastor a handshake and he pushed my hand away, then kissed me on my cheek. I was shocked. It happened so fast. I left that false church. Wow. That's something right there. A bunch of perverts. Perverts. Out here. Let's see if we can go to some more comments. Let's see where we at. So if you got any last closing remarks, feel free to leave it in the chat room as we come to a conclusion. Definitely appreciate y'all for coming on here, chopping it up, having some conversation. Lord willing, most likely we'll be on tomorrow with the recap of both videos. Lord willing, we'll see. You know what I mean? Or maybe today. It all depends. All right? So if you got any last closing remarks, feel free to leave it in the chat room as we wrap this up. And a lot of people are getting ready for church services and whatnot. God bless everybody out there. I hope everybody have a wonderful time in general. Let me just see if I miss anybody. Henry Ross. Henry. He says, careful with all these kissing, because you never know where they've been. Ooh, Henry Ross, you right. What's up, the Mercy Call? Shout out to you. Fleming says, people are sick in the mind and things they say or believe will be evident of what's in their heart. Absolutely. What's up to Marcia? Tanya Bond says, holy knockout, a little late. Yeah. We're about to close this thing out. So God bless to everybody out there. Those who participated, those in the background. Lord willing, we'll be on later. We'll see. But for the most part, we definitely will be on tomorrow. You understand that? We got a nice day off tomorrow and whatnot. And we'll definitely be on, Lord willing, tomorrow with some videos, lives, whatever I decide to come out. And whatnot. Fleming said that's why some have bad breath where their mouth had been. Ouch. What's up to Kevin Williams? And last night in Montego Bay was wonderful. I got baptized the right way. Glory be to God. Wonderful. God bless everybody out there. I'm Tony Harvin signing off. I'm out. Peace.